episode of Orsini's Uncensored Mind contains explicit language and adult content. The thoughts and opinions stated on this show are reflective of A.J. Orsini, the Steve Dave, and their guests exclusively. Seriously, guys, my dada and uncle say some pretty crazy stuff. If it offends you, go be butthurt somewhere else.
Welcome to Orsini's Uncensored Minds, and now your host, AJ Orsini with Dave.
Hey! How the hell is everybody out there? It's your boy, AJ Orsini, yet again with another episode of Orsini's Uncensored Mind, episode 312. Your boy's on the ball. I'm on a roll. I got a streak going here. I remember, and I think it's easier to remember due to all this goddamn editing I've been doing. Jesus Christ. But I'm not alone. Don't let the question mark fool you. Dave, are you with us?
Yes.
He's
I like that. It's to the punch.
The speed, the delivery, it's perfect. So we had a big weekend. It was a biggin. This was this was a special time. The special time of year where all the dadas and daddies and baby daddies and sperm donors and everybody gets together and, we pay homage to the men who rule the day, to the men who run shit around these parts. It was Father's Day weekend, and it was a good time. A time to be had by all. The champagne was flowing. The women were wooing. Because for some reason, women can't stand a man who's married and a good father. Ugh, it's like an aphrodisiac. They just get moist in the pantaloons. They can't help it. They see a man being a good father and a loyal, faithful husband, and they just turn into Niagara Falls below the waist. They can't handle themselves. It's like pheromone. It's liquid sex. You can get all the rippling Calvin Klein ads you want. You get a good-looking dad doing this thing, and they just bust it open. That's it. Flip upside down, start clapping those cheeks and rhythmically in front of you. There's nothing you can do.
It's like poetry.
It's true poetry in motion. There's so much that we have to get to, and I'm going to run down really quickly what it is we're going to be doing on this show. But there is something that I would like to attend to before we do this. Before we get underway, this will not take long. I just want to do a quick little public service announcement. This is another situation. Just last week, I had to sit down and clarify the word work, right? Because fans just, they have an issue with deciphering what's the difference. We have a new issue that the fans are jumping all over, and I just want to clarify a few things yet again. Did you see Monday Night Raw?
I did not get to this Raw yet. No, I did not.
You did not get to this Raw yet. Okay, so I don't want to... This is a spoiler kind of situation.
That's fine.
For
you can spoil. I'm going to watch it after this. So
yeah, okay, all right.
You can spoil it.
Well, here's the deal.
It's fine.
So there was a scheduled match between Liv Morgan and Kairi Sane that took place on Monday Night Raw. Or should I say it was scheduled to take place. It did not actually take place. Kairi Sane does her entrance. Liv Morgan does her entrance. They get into their opening sequence that involved Liv Morgan taking a front bump. I'm not sure. I don't remember if it was a drop toe hold or what it was. It was a simple, basic wrestling situation. The match just started, and there's a drop toe hold of some kind. Liv takes the front bump. She brings her arms down, and her shoulder comes completely out. It's on camera. There's no denying it. Her fucking arm is out. It's a complete severe dislocation we're finding out today. Again, we're recording this on Tuesday the 17th of June. This will be released on Wednesday the 18th, but as of right now, Raw happened yesterday, so it was a complete separation. You could see it on camera. They slowed it down. It was amazing. I've never seen them actually record an injury in real time like they did. And there's this vibe going around. There's this, I want to put a stop to that. I want to do my part to put a stop to this. There's a bunch of people that are online, and it's becoming a very loud minority, for two things. A, people who are blaming Kairi Sane, which is, no pun intended, insane. That is ridiculous. She didn't injure Liv Morgan. Look at the spot again. There's nothing that Kairi Sane did. This was just a freak situation. It happens. You could do a bump 1,000 times, and in 1,001 you could tear something or break something. It just happens that way. Which brings me to my second point. There's another group of people that are under the understanding that this injury happened because, and they're putting this at the foot of the ownership of TKO, that because WWE is running less house shows, that the wrestlers are not getting as many reps, which is leaving them open and more susceptible to injuries, hence what happened on Monday. So
that's not how that works.
No, not at all. Not even fucking remotely close. So I just wanted to bring that up and on the show and just say right now, for the record, anybody out there who thinks that putting your body through more damage than it needs to be put through will save you from damage is fucking stupid. It's an insane thought process that by going through more trials and tribulations with your body, it will prevent you from... No, it was a freak situation. The only thing a house show would have prevented was us getting it on film. That would have been that. An injury is an injury. She suffered an injury. It was a freak accident. House shows have literally no role in any of that shit. So, just wanted to come on the air real quick and just call people stupid. Since I saw an opportunity to call someone stupid, I'm going to go ahead and just put that out there. And, yes, that's not how the human body works at all. I suggest whoever thinks that to spend a few minutes on YouTube learning about the human body and some biology, and then you'll figure out what the odds were that probably should have happened sooner, based on the way that she front bumps. I don't know who... she front bumps the way that she front bumps. She's a former world's women's champion. I'm not going to sit here and critique her technique. But at the same time, it's dangerous. It's very reminiscent. You know what it looked like to me? And if people remember this at that time, when the Radicals, when Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit, and Perry Saturn came to WWE all at the same time, and they had that tag match with the New Age Outlaws, and Eddie Guerrero did a frog splash. A frog splash he has done 10,000 times. He executed a frog splash, and the elbow came out on TV. I remember him holding it in place so that the camera wouldn't see it. That was the first time it ever happened for him in the ring in WWE. You know what had happened again? Never. It never fucking happened again. Sometimes these things just fucking happen. I don't know what to tell you. There is no blame. There is no heat. It's just a situation as what it was. When you see Raw tomorrow, they may have edited around it. I don't know. We saw it live. But that's what happened. And then they didn't really have the match. As soon as it dislocated, they called it off. And they just went to the next thing. Which sucks because Liv was set up to do something with Nikki Bella at Evolution. They had an angle already planned for that specific match, including Finn Balor and Roxanne Perez. The wheels were in motion. There was things happening. And then now this injury, so that's going to set it back. We're hearing a timetable now of 3 to 4 months, which is really, really shitty timing. That's going to take her off the Evolution pay-per-view. That's going to take her off Night of Champions. That more than likely will take her off of SummerSlam. So I know she's got to be fucking pissed. She's got to be livid. No pun intended. I am a sufferer of freak accident dislocations. I've had it happen to me, my elbow, my knee. It's happened. So I'm not the biggest Liv Morgan fan in the world as far as in the ring, but we're wishing her well. And hopefully she makes a full recovery so that I may critique her again when she comes back. I will show no mercy, but until then, rest up and be easy, G. We'll see you in a little bit. But as far as today, what is on the show?
Come on, don't keep us waiting. What's going to happen on the show today?
Dave, we had quite a rundown for us the week before Money in the Bank.
Yeah, you're a little heavy-handed.
Yeah, a little heavy-handed on that one. And we had to move some things around because it was Money in the Bank weekend, because there was a watch long we wanted to do, we prioritized a little different. But the topics were pretty cool, and I wanted to do them, so we're going to do them today. First of which, of course, we got to get a little bit into the celebration, a little bit of what went down this weekend, because your boy did it again. He shocked the world again. I'm getting into the habit of this. We'll talk a little bit more about what happened over the Father's Day weekend. The new Xbox toy accessory, I don't want to give it away what it is, but we're going to be talking about that. Microsoft has stepped up and given us a brand new version of the Xbox.
Toy is crazy disrespectful, by the
way. That's okay. We're running it back. There is a topic, or not a topic, it's actually a topic of topics. It's weird. It's a topicception. But a few years ago when this podcast really started kicking, there was an episode that I did where I talked about the 3 topics that, for me, were too taboo for the show. I know it says uncensored, but these were topics I actively chose not to touch on. I feel now that we're several thousand listens in. Now that YouTube has exploded, I'm over 100% across the board, which means I have more listens per average per month, like 128% more. My subscriber numbers are up. Everything is up. Everything is looking good for the show right now. Couldn't be more positive. Couldn't be happier about the way things are turning out. Having said that, that means we have new listeners. So that means we have to go over the rules one more time. So we're going to be talking about that, the 3 topics, too taboo for OUM. I stumbled upon some of my old wrestling magazines and my old wrestling almanacs, and I stumbled upon one that gave me the biggest stories of 2005. What was happening in the world of professional wrestling 20 years ago? I would like to know. I'm sure Dave would like to know. I'm sure he's on the edge of his seat waiting for this fucking information to come hit him. But you guys will take the journey with us. We're going to go back in time. We're going to go back to the world of professional wrestling in 2005. That's later on in the show. And, of course, our main event, Old Man Bill, off the hill and back again on television. Goldberg makes his return to WWE. He's here for one final match, and the question that everyone is asking is, why in the fuck is this happening? We'll break it all down, of course, in our main event. So that's going to be our show today. Lots of topics to hit. If it's okay with the co-hosts, we'll get started and go right into Seg 1. You good?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into Seg 1.
Let's begin segment 1.
Now, let's truly begin with the most monumentous of occasions. Of course, we're talking about Father's Day. This is the day where all of the clothing stores get raided. All the socks and the undies and the shoes and the sweaters and the button-downs. All that stuff gets bought up. There's no last-minute Father. You're not going to drive by any gas stations and see any last-minute Father's Day gift ideas like you do for moms. We require forethought. That's right. We require some planning over here. You're not just going to give me some bargain basement shit. First and foremost, Dave, I'll start with you and ask, did your Father's Day include any traveling this time?
No, not really.
Kept it local?
Yeah, nothing crazy.
There you go.
I just made something for me and we just fucking chilled. That was it. But that's what I want. That's the perfect day. I don't want to do shit. My life revolves around working and then figuring out what to do for these two so that they can do something outside of the house. Yeah. So on my day, I just want to do nothing. So that's what I did.
So nothing? Or
nothing.
Was there
like, leave me alone. I played with her, with the baby. Uh-huh. I mean, I think that's only right. But
you're not with the title without her. So she's
right. And we've discussed it too. She's on board with the fact that it wouldn't be Dad's Day without her. So apparently it's our day, not my day.
Ooh, shared effort.
Yeah. So she took half of all my snacks, and
half.
She ate the dinner with me, but we just made something specific, just some ground meat. You know me, I'm a simple person.
Simple person. What was
Yep, she made some.
what was the meal? What simple meal?
Well, she just made like our type of meatloaf.
Oh, got you.
So she made like homemade gravy with like a bouillon cube and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then she made like some corn and ground beef, and she like put it all together over rice. That was it.
Damn near gave you a shepherd's pie. That's what it sounds like to me.
Pause. I don't want to be given a shepherd's pie.
Well, that's how the dad thing happened in the first place, isn't it?
Well, not with me getting the shepherd's pie, that's for sure.
I don't get based. I do the basting. That's what happens here.
That's right. Nah, nothing crazy. Just relax. You, on the other hand, live a different life.
No. Actually, we had a very similar weekend. So before I get into the ridiculousness of what happened on the Sunday of it, so I had a very similar plan. I didn't want to do a whole bunch of shit either. The only thing that I had really asked for was steak, which I ended up not getting, but that wasn't because they didn't want to give it to me, but because I got lazy. So what happened is that we spent literally all of Saturday, like you said, nothing, right? And my kid's older, so I can banish him to the room, and everyone's happy, including him, right? So he's on his iPad talking to his friends on a fucking social call or whatever. My wife's reading her book because she's gotten back into the reading, so that's good. I love when she reads because she gets all excited and stuff. And for some reason, something about that reading gets her into the mood, you know what I'm saying? So I'm all about it. There's something about stimulating her mind that starts to vibrate the vulva. You know what I'm saying? That for some reason they're connected, and I don't know why. But I'm here for it. So that's all that matters to me. So the idea was they were like, well, we can still go get the steak or whatever. We'll get the steak on Sunday because I don't know about you. Did it rain this weekend for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it too. Yeah, it was raining.
Which was also amazing because it's my weather.
Yes. Well, it's not mine. It wreaks havoc on my fucking knees. The fucking weather.
Well, you old.
Yeah, well, that's what I keep being told. But yes, so it was a pretty basic day. We didn't really do much. I didn't really want to go get the steak. I wanted to get the steak on Sunday. So I ended up getting Chinese food for myself. I love me a nice Chinese food dish. Boneless spare ribs, poor fried rice, no vegetables, no sprouts. Thank you very much. That's the order. That's on record, by the way, now. And so the next day, I'm not going to front, I was getting a little antsy. I was getting antsy. And I was just like, I kind of want to leave the house now. So they were like, all right, cool. So then my wife was doing what she does, which is that last-minute research shit. And she goes, well, the last time the girls were here together, we did the Squid Games experience. And she was like, I remember you saying the last time that you thought Alex would enjoy it. Do you want to go with Alex? I was like, yeah, sure, whenever, right? As long as I get my steak. Now, we ended up not getting the steak because, as I said, it was my choice. The reservation, because it's Father's Day, it's New York, you have to have a reservation or you will be eating nothing, right? So we had the reservation, but the reservation we could get was for 6. So we're like, all right, cool. So we'll do this, and then whatever. When we were supposed to go to Squid Games, then I kind of wanted to go to Coney Island, and because the restaurant was near Coney Island. So I was like, bing, bing, boom, everything works. We went into the Squid Game. It was kind of drizzly a little bit. I was like, didn't say it would rain today. That sucks. But let's power through, right? We'll get through it. And then we went into the Squid Games, and I'll get into Squid Games in a second. But then when we left Squid Games, it was full-on raining. So no Coney Island. So I was like, all right, so what do we want to do? And she goes, well, do you want to just go home and relax, and then we'll go to the thing? And in my head, I said, don't do that, because if you go home and relax, you're not going to get steak. But I was like, I couldn't think of anything else to do, so I said, fuck it. So we went home, and I didn't get steak. We ordered Domino's. But this weekend, she was like, no, this weekend we're going to go somewhere specifically for you to get your steak. I was like, all right, cool. Now, back to Squid Games for a second. Just for a second. We're not going to harp on this, but for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about when I keep saying Squid Games, it's a lot like the show, but obviously they couldn't keep it identical, right? There's certain things, obviously, that you can't match up. They can't do the cookie. That's weird. So they would do. So what it is it's 5 games that you play, and you have a bracelet that is the number, like in the show. And every time you win something, you scan your bracelet, you get points, and you ascend the leaderboard. And then essentially the last game, well, the first game is the bridge. You play the bridge, the first game. Now the way that it works in this experience is they have glass that you stand on, obviously not hovered over a pit. They don't want to get sued.
Well, then what's the point?
So they do.
There's no depth. Why are we playing this?
So what they do is they have like 10 panes of glass. 5 of them you're going to need to step on. If you step on the wrong one, it lights the whole thing up red. You're dead. You're out. So they show you the pattern for like 10 seconds, and then the pattern goes away, and you have to remember it. So this is my second time playing. I remembered it. So this was I was one of the winners for this one. Steph did not remember. She was out. And Alex did not remember. She was out. So I'm like, oh, this is good. This is good so far. It's a good start for me. Good start. The second game, they combined the marble game with the cookie. So there's it looks like a big cookie in the shape of the cookie. And you're doing a marble game where you have to keep it within the shape. If you get it out of the shape, the marble stays there. If you get it in the shape, you get your marble back and the marbles that are on the board. The one with the most marbles will win. I got eliminated. I did not. I ran completely out of marbles. The person who did not get eliminated was Steph and Alex. Alex did extremely well on the marbles. I was actually kind of pissed. So then we get to the third game, which was a form of battleship, where we have to talk to each other, communicate as a group, which I fucking hate. But Alex did an amazing job on communicating with people and even got up to push the button for people because they were taking too fucking long to make decisions. He's like, this button here, god damn it. And we won as a team, so we all scanned and all that stuff. The fourth one was the red light, green light. Now, it's Father's Day. But it's never too soon or too late in the day to have pride in your son. The person who was running the games for us said, I have been here all day. I have had several groups come into this room, and so far only one person has made it to the end. He goes, so I'm hoping someone from this group can do it, right? So everyone starts, just like 30 people in this room. Red light, green light. Everyone's doing it, and one at a time. And it starts giving numbers. Player 134, eliminated. Player 211, eliminated. And everyone's leaving, and I'm noticing everyone's leaving but Alex. And it's down to Alex, another kid, and this big, tall dude. And the tall dude did something stupid or whatever, and it read him, so he was out. And then him and the little girl got all the way to the end, and she fucked up, and he won the whole thing. And he was
That's crazy.
He was super excited because he was just like, yeah, fuck you, bitch. No, he didn't say all that. his face said it, but he didn't. The last one was the dinner, like in the season 1 finale with the dinner. It was the dinner. Now, really quickly, here's how this works. The person atop the leaderboard instantly starts the game. They sit in a red chair. Okay? The dinner setup is everyone has a plate in front of them with a dinner top on top of it, and there's light bulbs, and they randomly select who's going to be in the blue chair across from her. And as we were coming into the room, we don't know who's going to sit where. It's first come, first serve. And Alex was at the end of the table, and I was about 2 seats in, and the fattest fucking person on earth sat next to me. And I had no room because I am equally big. Not equal to him. This person was humongo.
Let's be clear.
This person was.
I'm fat.
Yeah.
He was a fat ass.
Yes, he was me, but and then another half of me. Like there was more him than there should have been. So I said, Alex, because he had the end, so I could put my legs out. Can we switch so that I have some room? He said, sure. So we switched. When they hit the random button to see who was going to play, it landed on me. And he went, what the? I said, I didn't know that was going to happen. And at first, I was going to let him go. I was like, no, that's not fair to him because he was sitting here. I just had him switch. And then both of them were like, no, it's Father's Day. Go ahead, go up. So I said, okay, now mind you, the person who was in first place, who won every event, is like 9. This little girl was like younger than Alex. So it's my big doofy ass sitting next to this little child. I said, please, no photos. Don't put this shit on the internet, please. And so like, we played.
Was she a beast though? Like, was she good?
She was killing it. The problem with this game is that it is kind of random. There's a jack in the box in the middle, and after the 2 people are selected, they do the lights again. And when they do the lights and it lands on you, you have to lift your dinner plate to see a number on the plate. That's how many times you turn the crank on the jack in the box. If you crank it and the jack comes out, you lose.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how funny shit is. That little girl has 2 parents, a mother and a father, who are sitting at a dinner table, and then my son and my wife. They hit the randomizer to start, and some random person got a number, and it was 2. So they said, well, who do you want to choose, the red chair or the blue chair? I'm blue chair, the little girl's red chair. And the girl goes, I choose red. She chose the little girl. I said, that's fucked up. You should have chose the dude, but whatever. So the little girl cranked it 2 times. Ba-da-boom, ba-da-boom. Nothing happened. So then they did the randomizer, and her mom got picked. And they said, well, who do you pick? And I'm like, who the fuck you think? She's not going to pick her daughter. That's going to be an awkward ride home. So she picked me. And she picked up her dinner plate. It was 2. Right? So I did my 2. And after I cranked to 2, nothing happened. So they did the randomizer again. And when they did the randomizer, it landed on her father.
This game's rigged, dude.
So I was like, no fucking way. Because they're sitting next to each other. So then he picks up the dinner plate. It's 5. So I'm fucked. Right? I'm screwed. So I start moving it. Bing. And nothing happened. No jack in the box. So I was like, "Oh shit, that's crazy."
Please hit Alex.
So they did the fucking randomizer again, and it landed on fucking Alex. And Alex,
I'll be at 10.
And they said, "Who do you red?" He didn't even finish it because you could hear him in the back get pissed off when he found out that the 2 parents got the chance, and they couldn't finish me. So he got the ball, but he goes, "I pick red," and he pulled the dinner plate up, and it was 4. So she cranked it 1, 2, and on 3 the jack came out. So the little girl got defeated, and they escorted her out. I'm like, oh, they're gonna shoot her, poor girl.
They're gonna execute her in the back, dude. Put her ass down.
So yeah, so that's how I won Squid Game. It was when we went into the room, that little girl was in first place. Her mother was in second. She was a beast too. They were doing the games together because she's little. But she was a beast too. Third place was Alex. 4th place was Steph. 5th place was me. We were in the top 5. And then when the randomizer hit me, that moved me, and then I won. That moved me from 5th to 1st because I won.
And it pushed everybody else down.
Pushed everybody else back, but that meant that first place was me, then it was the little girl, then it was the mom, then it was Alex, then it was Steph. So Steph took 5th. So we were still technically top 5, the whole family. And there was a whole bunch of families that were there. So it was
That's crazy.
Once again, your boy.
That's crazy that top 5 were 2 separate full families.
Yes. And the father I think wasn't too far off, like 7th or 8th or something like that. But it was like right there. Like we were all like right there. Even for like as the game progressed, it's like we were the top 2 families that just kept shifting around that top 5. Like I would lose one, but Alex would win one, and then the little. It was weird how we just, without being competitive, we were kind of competing against each other. It was funny. Every other family that was there was just wasting their fucking time. They wasted their money. They shouldn't have even been in the room. They should have just let the professionals do this. That's it. That's all that it was. So yeah. So that was Father's Day. After Squid Games, like I said, we just said fuck it, let's go home and relax. So it is what it was. But yeah, I think this holiday is best spent doing. If you're gonna leave it up to Dad to do whatever it is he wants to do, more often than not, he's going to probably choose to not do a whole lot. They kept yelling at me the whole weekend because, like Saturday, I was here the whole day. We didn't do anything. We were home. So, habits kick in. I start doing dishes.
Oh, yeah.
I start like, I'm picking up the room.
I got some shit cleaned up.
Yeah, and they were like, what are you doing? I was like,
what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you
is
doing?
my question.
Yeah, it's
The
like,
fuck are you doing? You don't want me to do this, but
Yeah.
you're not doing it either.
Yeah,
so
word. You gotta jump on this wave right now. I'm feeling the groove. Let's go.
I really wanted to grill and do shit like that, but if I had to go somewhere to do it, I'm good.
Yeah, it would have been perfect if you would have had like a spot like right there with you to do some grilling, like a backyard or something like that.
Yeah.
That would have been better. Yeah, same here. Unfortunately, I'm in New York. There's not a lot of opportunities for that. So, yep. So that was Father's Day. We have July 4th coming up. I guess is the next goddamn holiday. So, we also, not for nothing. Have you ever heard of Randy Feltface? The comedian, the puppet?
I'm upset that like sounds familiar, but off the top of my head, no.
All right, niche comedy, but it's an Australian comic who performs through a puppet. He is hilarious. It's one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen in my life. This dude is fucking amazing. And with the puppet, like the puppet kind of sells it. It makes it more dramatic and more da-da-da-da-da. So it wasn't a part of Father's Day weekend. It was the Thursday before, but we kind of looped it all together because, babysitters and stuff, you kind of have to put that in order. So we kind of looped everything together. But we did that on Thursday, too, with a comedy. And when we bought the tickets, it was supposed to just be a stand-up event. He comes in and does a comedy thing for like 90 minutes or whatever. Turned into a taping. They taped it for a comedy special. So I'm definitely going to send that shit to you when it comes out because that shit is fucking hilarious. You and Nora need to sit down and watch that. That shit is goofy fun. Father's Day, right? What you gonna do? Anyway, let's move on to the next segment, shan't we?
Next up, segment 2.
Microsoft is hitting us, as DJ Khaled would say, with another one. We've got something new in the works here over at Xbox and Microsoft. Something new to the gaming world. I had to look this up because I didn't believe that it was true. Because the handheld version of video games has been around for a long fucking time. All the way back to Mr. Game & Watch. I mean, the handheld has been around for a long, long, long time. But I could not believe for the life of me, for as long as Xbox and everything, the gaming division of Microsoft has been out, they've never had a handheld till now? Ever?
Who, Xbox or Microsoft?
Microsoft, yeah. I tried looking it up.
No, I don't think so.
I couldn't find anything. I was like,
really?
Nothing experimental.
Not like this.
No. This is this is the real deal.
This is different.
Yeah, this is the real deal right here. I had received news through scrolling and going through the YouTube and shit like that. When all of a sudden I get hit with this announcement that they're dropping a brand new handheld, the new Xbox Ally. They have the Ally and the Ally X with 1 million, and I absolutely fucking mean that when I say that, 1 million different things and capabilities that this thing could possibly have. And I actually think my favorite part, and we'll get into the gaming function of the whole thing, but I honestly...
I'm here at the Xbox Games Showcase at Summer.
No, you're not. No, you're not. I mean, you are. I'm not calling you a liar, but I don't care. There is so many capabilities and so many things that happen with gaming systems that because it's Microsoft, I'm not actually surprised by this little aspect. But as fun as I'm sure the gaming mechanism actually is, I actually love the possibility of it acting more like a computer than anything else. Because I haven't had a gaming handheld in a very long time. As a matter of fact, I think the last one that I had was a PSP, which was the PlayStation handheld that it had for a while there. And I had that for a security job. And I did play games. I had a whole baseball season going on that. Obviously some GTA, you got to pass the time. But I feel like I really did use it more as a fucking computer than anything else. I used to use the web browser on that. I grabbed because I was doing security. I grabbed the building Wi-Fi and just fucking, I'm YouTubing. I'm doing all kinds of shit on that. It really was a computer in my pocket for a long fucking time. And this looks like it's got the same goddamn capabilities. For some of the stuff that I sent you and some of the stuff you had a chance to look over, was there anything about this gaming system that stuck out to you?
Yeah, I mean, it looked promising. Now, if you're okay, so the big benefit to this, the specs look really good too. It looks like a very strong handheld. Now, I believe the ROG has a Steam Deck version. I have a Steam Deck, so it does the same thing essentially.
Yeah.
It uses the Steam interface, but what it also does is that it uses Linux. So not Windows, but it uses Linux.
Uh-huh.
So if you're a Linux person, which I am not, I have to learn some things on this. You can use it as a computer as well. So, but they're like the files and the way that Linux works is a lot different than Windows, and I'm used to Windows, so it's tough because there's certain ways you have to get around things and do things that I'm not used to. But I say that to say that Steam Deck does the same thing, and there are other, for instance, Republica Gamers. That's what ROG stands for. They have their Steam Deck versions as well. But it's really cool to see Microsoft that has Windows, although they did say like they made like a phrase like don't have to worry about Windows anymore. Like I don't remember the exact wording they used. I think what they meant by that was not having to really worry about getting the power of a computer, but not have to really worry about getting a PC. I think that's what they meant, at least from the videos that I watched. But the capability that it has looks cool. It looks like a lot of people will be able to use it, be much more comfortable using that than Linux. And the other cool thing is that Xbox has its own service. Right. So if you use, I forget what it's called, like Gold Pass or something like that. Even I right now on my PC, I can play Xbox games on my PC. Well, now with this, you could do that anywhere you want. You just log in and you have a plethora of games to play, sometimes new releases and shit like that, right on your fucking handheld. And then they keep hinting that you'll also be able to, well, they didn't hint at Blizzard, the Battle.net. You can use Battle.net, which you can do it on a Steam Deck, but again, you have to do the workaround
the Linux
with
stuff,
with Linux to get it on there, to get it on the Steam, to log into it. Like, it's possible, but you have to watch like quite a few videos. This is going to be baked in, so you'll be able to go to the Battle.net section of it and play your WoW games on there. And they're already trying to come out with functionality with it. It's kind of already out there, but not officially. I don't think so. With controller on World of Warcraft, like there's a guy I watch, he uses controller playing World of Warcraft. So that can also be a thing on there, and it's very easy. You just go to the tab and you log into your game, which that's huge. And then they're also hinting that you will also be able to log into your Steam account and play your Steam games on there. They didn't say Steam specifically.
Yeah.
They said other gaming services like that, and everyone keeps looking at the camera like, it's probably Steam. And if
why can't they say it though?
Well, because the competition is Steam Deck.
Oh, okay.
So
we're dipping in. We're dipping in, but we don't want to tell you that we're dipping in.
Yeah, you can do it because at the end of the day, you could do the same. It's not like they're stealing anything. You can do the same exact thing on a Steam Deck that they're baking into the system. So it's going to make it accessible for a lot more people. And I think at a glance, I saw something like a $700 price point for the bigger one, I think. Yeah. And if that's the case,
you're in the ballpark.
I think that's worth it.
Which is funny. I don't have a PS5. I don't have any of the new stuff. I'm not that kind of I don't have those new systems. So when I see things like this being advertised, and I'm looking at the screen like it's in front of me right now, and it's so hilarious to me that while I don't have a system, looking at the specs here, I don't feel like I'm looking at a gaming system. This is the terminology, and this is the look that I see when I go computer shopping. I don't even look like it's got the CPU, right? These are AMD Ryzen cards, 4 cores, 8 threads. I see the memory on there, 16 gigs. The storage for this one in particular that I'm reading, which is the ROG Xbox Ally. It's got the 512 gigabytes. It's got SSD on there. This is the shit that I look at when I'm buying laptops and shit like that.
Yep.
So I'm like, this is full fledged. Look at this one right here, the Xbox Ally X. This has got a 24 gig memory. This has got
That's the big one.
1 terabyte of storage.
That's huge.
That's humongous. Yes, I know.
That's humongous, and also a lot of your storage can be in the cloud.
Yeah, exactly. So if you don't want to overload your whole memory stick, you can always just put other stuff in different places here. They're all Wi-Fi capable, Bluetooth capable. This is fucking insane.
But I think my
multi-ports. Look at this.
My Steam Deck, I think, is around 500 gigs or something like that.
Be like
maybe a little less. And I don't ever feel like I have a problem with the storage. Now, I don't go crazy downloading stuff. I know there are people that have like huge Steam libraries and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But again, a lot of their Xbox games that they're talking about, you can play from streaming instead of like actually directly from the system. It's huge. And like I can tell you right now, having my Steam Deck, sometimes I just like I'm tired. I want to do something, but I just don't feel like sitting at my desk. I can just go lay down in the bed and play Path of Exile, which I would have never been able to do before, but I could literally just play Path of Exile on the bed with the Steam Deck.
Just think of all those times you traveled with a TV and a PlayStation in your car.
Oh, dude.
Those days are long gone.
That's crazy. And with the capability that I'm assuming it's going to come with, I could probably pay Final Fantasy 11 on that handheld. I can do it now on the Steam Deck. It takes a lot of work to set it up, and because I'm not familiar with Linux, but with Windows, it would be so much easier to do. So I don't know. I'm interested to see what people do with this stuff as soon as they get it in their hands.
I have a question for you. When I saw the release video, when they were going over different specs, and this is going to be able to do this, and it's going to be able to do that, like I just said 2 seconds ago, you're obviously a lot more versed in the gaming world. I have a lot of familiarity in the computer world, the actual operating system world of computers. And I'm watching this video, and it started going pretty computer heavy. Like, he's talking, and I'm following. I can actually, I know what he's talking about. Okay, that sounds good. Ooh, that's sexy, like that. And then, kind of out of the blue, in the middle of all that computer jargon, it starts flipping to jargon more related to the gaming world, right? So it'll tell me about the memory of this does this and this does that, and this is how many imports that it has. Oh, and we took a special amount of time to make sure that we had a very high FPS rate, and we did this and we did that. I was like, oh, that's more of the gaming stuff, because I don't know what any of that shit is. But I picked up on something.
That's a shot at Nintendo, by the way.
I got... not a very veiled one, I guess, for people who are in the know. But he grabbed me with the computer stuff, and then he slid in the gamer thing, right? So does it feel kind of like that was more for the casual person than the actual real gamers? That they were kind of making you feel... No?
No, because it's just happy accident.
Okay, I'll take it.
What they're talking about is relative, like, makes sense to you because you understand computer components, like, you can get excited for that.
Right.
But that is also equivalent to gaming. So although you're talking, especially we're talking about a handheld. So now we're already thinking gaming. You start talking about components, you now forgot about gaming because you're not in that world.
Right.
But you're hearing stuff you understand. So like you said, you kind of forgot for a second that we're talking about a gaming handheld. But as the gamer, I'm like, dude, I could play this game with that FPS. I could play this. I know what a Ryzen is. We build computers for gaming. So when they're telling us these components, we're thinking it in an aspect of, dude, you're telling me I damn near have my PC in my hand? So as they're saying it to me through my filter, I'm thinking video games. When they say it to you through your filter, you're thinking computer components. But then when we both get together at the same time, when they start talking about games, we're like, oh, hell yeah, I could play these games. Like, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I wanted to play on this. And then you're like, oh, wait, fuck, we're talking about video games?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I forgot about that. But it's like they pretty much put the same information out, but it was just like we're both on two roads, and then we just like merged together. But the information was the same for kind of both, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense to me. Yeah, no, the way that you explained it actually made sense. I thought they were trying to hook me.
No,
it was just like
they got you. I mean,
they caught my attention for sure, and I'm actually not opposed. I showed this to my wife, and my wife goes, "That's an interesting Christmas present." I said, "Oh my god, don't do that, I was like, "Yeah," but no, even for me, like,
you know what's even cooler? Because I'm pretty sure that with like the Xbox Gold Pass, which if you're a gamer, I will say it's phenomenal.
I have
value.
the Game Pass for Xbox.
Yeah, so it's phenomenal value. You have access to so many games. That especially like free, like new release games. Some of those games you get if you're a Gold Pass member. I don't know if it's the same thing for internet for what I'm referring to. I'm pretty sure they're the same thing. Do you get access to like download games and stuff
On Xbox Game Pass?
Yes.
Yeah, so it has a whole library of things, and the only thing that sucks about the Game Pass is that you can download them onto your box and play them whenever you want, but because they're from Game Pass, what happens is that they're not yours permanently, right? There's like a time limit to it.
Yes.
So you go back to play it one day, and it's like, you don't have sufficient whatever the fuck to play this anymore, and we're like, oh, gay. So now we have to buy it.
As long as you are paying for the subscription, you should have access to it.
No, it tells you that because what happens is after a while it comes off of Game Pass. So they're like, oh, you still have it, so it's not on Game Pass anymore. So if you'd like to buy it, here it is, but it's not on Game Pass anymore.
Sure.
So it's like literally unlimited time. Now, for their credit, it's usually there for a long time because Alex downloads games all the time.
It's phenomenal value nonetheless if you like playing those games, but they usually have those retro games there too, like Left 4 Dead. I think should be on there. So imagine being able to just like on the shit or just get a game in. You know what I mean? Like that's what's cool about those handhelds.
That's my next question. So let's say, like for instance, Left 4 Dead 2, right? One of my favorite Xbox games, literally of all time. I have the disc for it. It's not actually on my box, so I would have to download a version of that onto my handheld then to play it?
No, if it's in the library, you would just download it. I need to make sure that what you're referring to is the same thing I'm referring to. I think it is, but I haven't used it since it like first came out. When they first released it, I bought into the subscription because I was playing things like I was playing something and they were all playing on Xbox. So I subscribed to on the PC so I can play with them while they're on the Xbox and I played on the PC. I forget what game it was, but it was towards the beginning of that. So whatever has changed since then, I'm unaware of. So I just want to make sure we're referring to the same thing, but it sounds like it.
Believe that we are, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that we are. But yeah, so I'm really excited to see how the hell this is really going to happen.
We'll see. I mean, it looks awesome, to be honest with you. It really does.
I'm a little worried about the bulkiness. They look pretty sizable.
Oh, no, dude, no. See, okay, you have a Switch. So
Yes, I have. Yeah,
you're accustomed to like the thinner, lightweight.
Okay.
I have I have the Steam Deck, and I'll tell you, I prefer the weight.
Really?
Personally, I prefer the weight. It just feels better in your hand. And I know that Xbox said they deliberately made theirs bulkier because they want it to feel like you're holding an Xbox controller when you're using it. And that sounds fucking amazing. Because the Xbox controller is probably my favorite controller. Just by its weight, size, the way it fits in your hand, the analog sticks, the buttons. I love them. So if that's the case, then this thing's probably going to feel amazing.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, so we got some positivity here. These gaming systems coming out soon. Actually, they have, I was just looking at it again. They have different release dates for a lot of these machines. The LIZ1 Extreme is already out on the market. So is the Rogue LIX. But the Xbox LIX, I just said that twice? No, Rogue LIX on its own, the Rogue one. The Rogue Xbox LIX comes out. They have it projected for the holiday season of 2025, as well as the Rogue Xbox Ally. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I heard somewhere in that video that Rogue, what was that stand for again? Republic of Gamers?
Mm-hmm.
They've had their system already out for a minute. So this is just combining with Xbox here at this point. It's a joint effort here.
What do you mean their system? You mean as far as handhelds go?
Yeah, the handhelds, right.
It's the Steam Decks.
It's the Steam. Okay, all right.
It's the Steam Decks version.
Okay.
Which I'm sure they're not completely giving up on, because I know Steam is working on their own OS. And like I gotta update myself on where they're at with it, but I know they were making some big strides on that.
Will that
and
kill
I'm sure
the
they'll keep
relationship
working
though?
with that.
Does that kill does that kill the relationship though? If they end up getting
They're third party. No, they're a third party.
Okay.
They can I mean, listen, Steam isn't a company I would really want to like burn bridges with. So I don't think they would. But this situation is one of those kind of first time type, like this is a big opportunity for Republic of Gamers to have access, to be able to be at the forefront of this, to specifically collaborate with Xbox, to where their the X version has like built-in Xbox buttons and stuff like that on that specifically. No,
huge.
This is huge for them. Absolutely.
They're
going to make so much money off of this shit. This is crazy.
Puts them in a different stratosphere for sure. I mean, guys like you knew about them, but
this will merge PC gamers and console players, because now you can kind of get like that PC feel and that PC power with a console, pretty much. Like all the games that you love to play on your console, you could do it with this.
Okay. Look at that.
So, I don't know. We'll see. See what the results are when people get their hands on it.
I just need access to Left 4 Dead, and then I'll be all right. I'm gonna if I can get this thing in my hand and in my house, I'm gonna be taking trains and buses to wrestling shows moving forward, because I can't drive these shows. I got to get in on the action. So I got to get in. All right. So let's move on to the next segment, shan't we?
It's time for segment 3.
All right, so 3 topics, 2 taboo for OUM. All right, there's 3. There's 3 directions I just don't feel the need to fucking go into. So for all of you new listeners, you've heard us talk about some pretty outlandish shit on this show as it is. And yes, it is completely uncensored. I'm uncensored. My brother's uncensored. We've had guests on the show that are completely fucking uncensored. It's the one thing I'm asked every single time when I bring somebody on the show. You know, what's the language? What's the topic? I'm like, uncensored. It's uncensored. And I know by default that means that I'm co-signing whatever they say. I don't really give a shit. We're here to be open and free and discuss whatever it is that we want to discuss on the show, and however we want to discuss it. Now, to be fair, I'd like to open this segment by taking this to you, because when I made these rules, it was the show rules long way before you got here, Dave. It was before your time when these rules were put into
long place. Before the days of Sigourney Weaver.
Aquatine. So I want to start off by saying this. I already told you what the 3 topics are. I'm going to get into them in more detail here on this show. But I just want to leave the idea open for you that if there ever comes a situation where you do want to talk about something.
There won't be.
Okay, all right. Just based on the 3 I gave you.
Good.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, these are things I try to avoid my whole life, so don't worry about it.
As well, right? So, okay, so we're not going to go in any particular order, but I would just like to list them off for the new listeners so that they're aware of what it is that we just kind of try to stay away from. Okay? First and foremost, again, no in particular order, but we stay away from religion. And one of the biggest reasons we stay away from religion is because y'all don't know how to act when having conversations about fucking religion. It could be a positive conversation, and you still don't know how to act. You just take an inch and turn it into a mile. It could be negative, in which case you already know how that's going to go down. There's no civil conversation when it comes to religion. Are there some out there that can have it? Sure. But it's not the majority, so I just stay away. There's nothing really there. It's, in my opinion, there's no entertainment value in it, which I think is the point of what we're trying to do here. We do have our serious moments, but we do try to laugh, have a good time, make some jokes, talk about some passionate stuff that we like. Religion doesn't have a whole lot of that. It's just not a lot of happiness going on in religion. If you're a religious person and you'd like to get your Jesus or your Muhammad or your whatever on, there are a plethora of other podcasts where you can satiate that. It's just not going to happen here on the OUM network. It's just not going to happen. Not just this podcast, but there's never going to be any affiliate, anything under the corporate umbrella of the OUM network that will be dealing with politics. There have been some ideas tossed around where I would be helping other individuals with their programming and bringing them under this umbrella, kind of like an OUM network presents da-da-da-da-da. And but that's one of the things that I've spoken to this person about. It's like, if you plan on doing something like this with these three things, can't fuck with you. It just is what it is. I just stay away from the religion thing. I myself, and you can speak for yourself. As a matter of fact, I'll start with you. Do you really consider yourself much of a religious person at all? In your own, for you, not other people, just for yourself?
Not necessarily. Not in a sense of not necessarily. I try to abide by what the rules would be in a sense, not necessarily like I just, do mostly like do unto others as you would do unto yourself. Like that's the main one that kind of sticks with me. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I mean, no, not necessarily.
Right. And I don't really consider myself to be much of a religious person as well. We grew up with many different variations, I guess, of whatever religious thing that you can think of, and none of it, it just didn't happen for us. Spouses, does Nora have anything that really she's into? Or?
I mean, she's very similar kind of to me, where she, like, if you ask her, her response would be, I believe in God, but I don't believe in, like, the way the world structures religion.
Okay.
Type of stuff. So she is a believer. She prays her. She believes that it's more of like a within thing. Mm-hmm. So you'll never hear her be preachy about anything. But like when she has her hard time, she sits alone and like does her thing. But I wouldn't call her a religious person. No, not at all.
Yeah, my wife grew up Catholic. She went to Catholic schools, all-girls schools. High school was Catholic. St. John's University, the college, was Catholic. But in zero way is she a practicing Catholic. She doesn't keep track of any of it. The one thing that she did like about the religion is one of the biggest aspects of it that she enjoyed the most of it was the godparents, the godfather and the godmother. That's kind of like a backup plan for the kid. Her godmother, in her particular situation, she's probably closer to her godmother than she probably is her own mom. Like, she's very, very close to her godmother. As a matter of fact, when we had our son, it was a big topic of conversation because she said, I know you're not religious, and I don't want to put you in a terrible situation, but if it's okay with you, I would like my son to have godparents. But in order for that to happen, he has to be baptize her, whatever that thing is called.
You don't.
So we took him to the church, and we went through all the interrogation, and we took him when he was like an infant, like he was like, I don't even know if he was 1 yet, and we had him in this little tiny little man suit, and he went to the church, and they put the thing on his head, and the fucker fell asleep. He slept through the whole fucking thing. I was holding him. He's a baby. I was holding him the whole time, and he was just knocked the fuck out. If I was trying to put him to sleep, he wouldn't have fucking went to sleep. But now he needs to be awake in the eyes of the Lord. And he's fucking
that's interesting to hear that, because I don't believe that that's true. I mean, I'm sure that came from her experience.
Yeah.
So that's but like, you don't have to be Christian to celebrate Christmas.
Right. Listen, I was just playing. I was just playing the game. I don't know.
Sam has godparents. She is not baptized.
Right, exactly.
Now, you could go be semantics and say, well, technically that's not okay. That's fair.
Right.
I'll give you that. But I'm calling it godparents.
Yeah.
And when I presented it to them, I said, hey, would you like to be their godparents?
Yeah.
And they said, absolutely. I said, okay. That was it. We're done.
What you
we
have,
both agree they're
what you
godparents.
have is Puerto Rican godparents. It's like a Puerto Rican.
Sure.
It's
whatever you want to classify it as. She knows that woman as her godmom.
It's like a Puerto Rican marriage. You know?
Yeah.
That's my wife. That's my
Yeah.
husband. No, you not. That's not a real thing. That's just your nickname
That's
for
true.
them.
You know what? That's true.
And-
Because I do that. I'll be calling, well, this is my wife. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
You ain't married her. You didn't marry her.
You're not in the
That's your baby mom's.
Yeah, you're not in the trenches with me.
So I respect it.
Yeah.
If you want to call me a fake, I will accept it.
I'm not calling
I
you
will
anything.
accept it.
I don't give a shit. Just like when she brought it to me, she was just like, "Do you mind?" I was like, "I don't give a fuck." Because in my head,
it doesn't matter.
Because in my head, none of it means anything.
You just splashing water on my baby.
Splash water on my sleeping child. That's it.
We can do this at home, by the way.
Yeah, I got water for days at the house.
We got water at the house.
If nothing else, I got filtered water. If you don't want to use the city water, we're good. I got.
You need holy water. Just get a. You know what? Let me stop, because we're doing exactly what we said we don't do, and we're gonna piss someone off. Let's move on.
Nah, I don't care at this point.
This
is why we don't do it.
We shouldn't do it, because we're insensitive and we need to just move on.
There it is. See, well, there you go. This is what we're preventing you from seeing.
Yeah. This isn't for you. We're saving you.
Yeah. So they got the godparents all set up, and ironically enough, it's the same godmother. So that's awesome, and
that's cool.
They have a really great. My son's 10 now. They're so close. He's going to be sleeping over her house tomorrow. So they are so close that it's so cool for them to have that relationship, and it's really cool for my wife because she grew up with her godmother, and they were really, really close. And now for her godmother to have that relationship with her son is a really cool thing. So that's just in a nutshell. We actually just summed it up better just now than had we just let it go. But we stay away from it because for some people it's really, really serious, and for some people it's a punchline. So we don't know where that line is, so we just stay away.
Payout's not worth it.
It's not. It really isn't. It just isn't. The second one we stay away from. And somebody tried to call me out on this because the second one that we don't do is we don't do the racism conversation because it's just neither side is going to hear the other fucking side. It's just not going to happen. There are people who live on this earth who think it's everywhere and all around them, and they can't escape it. It's right there. It's like the boogeyman in the closet. And then there's some people who live in a world where it just doesn't exist at all. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see it, right? And there's a bunch of us in the fucking middle, and the people who are in the middle just are having it out all the time. I did an episode way in the beginning, and this was during the George Floyd time period. So it's very early on in the episode because that happened around sometime before the pandemic, I want to say. And we did it wasn't the whole episode. It was like a segment on the show. But people were like, well, you talked about the George Floyd situation. Isn't that talking about racism? No, what it is it's labeling It's having a conversation and listing facts and telling stories from the people and the vantage point of a human being who fucking died. If you want to sit here and say that he died due to the racism of that cop or the racism of police or the riots that followed, we can have that conversation. But the day of the death or the week of the death, the conversation was about some dude who was trying to tell a cop he couldn't breathe and the cop proceeding to fucking kill him. That's what the conversation was about. It morphed into a bunch of other stuff, but we didn't have that conversation here on this show. So, and there's a reason for that. We stay away from that. I and you, as my brother, we are of mixed ethnicities. And as I've stated many times on this show, not a single fucking one of them ever claimed my ass. So, since I am essentially ethnicless, I just fucking stay away from
all things yet none things.
Yeah, like I am everything, I am nothing. I am me, I am I. There are many like me, but no one like me. So it's just, I just fucking stay away from it. I'm not black enough to be black. I'm not Spanish enough to be Spanish. I'm not Italian enough to be Italian, and I'm not Chinese enough to be Chinese. So, have at it. Go do whatever it is you want to do. You could be orange, you can be apple, you can be grape, and you can be tangerine, and I'll just sit my fruit punch ass right here and watch y'all motherfuckers go at it. I'm not involved myself in a problem that none of you have included me in. So, I just sit back and just let it happen. And the arguments happen as they happen. Go to any YouTube comment section anywhere. You have a bunch of the mayonnaise people telling the darkies that there's no slavery anymore to get over it. And then they tell the darkies and telling the mayonnaise people that there's slavery even as we speak. You need to fucking acknowledge it. And the fireworks go back and forth over and over and over until the end of time. Until people start to realize that racism is a legitimate human characteristic and something that we invented and mastered and will probably never fully ever go away, then it's a conversation that's going to just keep happening over and over and over and over and over. So,
and I'd rather talk about something else.
Exactly. Let's go back to the Xbox. You see what I'm saying? The Xbox is unity. It is fun. It is happiness. It is joy. That other shit, no good. The third thing and the final thing that we do not discuss on this motherfucking show, politics. We don't do politics. I don't give a fuck who's in the White House. I don't give a fuck who's on the Senate. I don't give a fuck who is running for whatever position in local this, so, and the fourth. I don't give a shit. For the record, just so we can eliminate any of the assholes right off the bat, Dave, are you a registered voter?
No.
No. Ask me the same question. Ask me.
Are are you a registered voter?
No.
There we go.
So,
what a guy.
So we don't give a fuck. Y'all go ahead and do whatever it is the fuck y'all gonna do. Now, as I've gotten older...
See, I was gonna say, as I got older, I kind of low-key be behind the couch, like...
No, but hear me out now. Hear me out. As I have gotten older, I have found myself paying a lot more attention to some of the things that are happening within government, and as a government worker, I am a government worker through the education field. So whenever something happens with, you should see the faces that I get that Linda McMahon is in charge of education as I am in the education field. So everybody who's in the education field looks at me and go, "Who the fuck is this bitch?" And I keep looking at them, telling them, somebody who should not be doing what the fuck she's doing is who it is. That's who it is. But as I've gotten older, I've started to notice I have been taking a little bit more of an interest in things like the tariff situation, how it affects goods, how it affects the money. A few years back, more specifically during the pandemic, when everybody was going over the pros and cons of vaccinations, and the government shouldn't be telling you that you need to be vaccinated, and then the other side, I started paying a little bit more attention to the things. But here's the thing about that. I think everybody's entitled to their opinion. I think everybody should have the ability to be fully informed on everything that's being done within government, within the medical field, within the education field, all across the board. I feel like everyone should have the opportunity to be informed, and I fully endorse people having an opinion. The reason we don't discuss it on the show, I have a political opinion. I think everyone at some point develops a political opinion. The reason we don't discuss it on the show is, once again, back to the core value, entertainment. There's no entertainment value in that. If I start going off about Trump, I'm going to piss off a Trump supporter. If I start going off about Kamala or Barack, I'm going to piss off a fucking Democrat. It's a ball game that you don't even know truly what sides or who's on what side, or even if you're on the side you think you are. Because I'll say something I could say something right now that might sound very Democratic. He sounds like a Democrat. He sounds like a blue, He sounds like a left or a right or whatever the fuck they say. And then in the next breath, I could possibly say something that might sound Republican. Right? And then all of a sudden someone else is pissed off. Oh, you're one of those people, right? It's like you're either, like they're doing the whole ICE thing now with the deportation, right? You're only either supposed to be on one side or the other side, which I don't understand those conversations, so I stay away from them. As far as the show goes, I stay away from them. When I'm at work, it's a different
You be out there gossiping?
We spill the tea at work. We have all the conversations at work. On the show, though, this is supposed to be a place of joy and fun and entertainment, and that's what we try to do. So those are the three topics. We have the religion, we have race, and we have politics. And we try our best to stay as far away from those as possible, not just because of the entertainment value, but also, let's be real. As much as it is important to have a podcast, to use your platform to do some good and to maybe talk about the topics that a lot of people don't get to talk about, I think there's also an element of shock jock that I don't like.
Yeah.
I think there's an element of like, okay,
people play it to exactly the reason why you don't want to do it. There are people that play specifically into that because it brings views brings money.
Right.
And that's whack.
They'd like to
I don't blame them. Yeah. Get that bag, but that's not me.
Yeah, they want to kick the hive. They want to kick the hornet's nest, stir it up, and then that's when he'll get the comments. That's when he gets the likes. That's when all that stuff happens. Me personally, I would just rather not. If I would rather succeed slowly, but in my own way, than shock my way to an overnight just kind of push. You know what I mean? I'm not going through life hoping I don't upset anybody. I don't give a fuck if you get upset, but at least I know that if I upset you with something, it's something that came from the heart and it was real. And it was something that I truly believed when I said it. And I don't want to go down those roads because I know that whatever I said and I meant will be torn apart, cut up into pieces, turned into sound bites, used against me, used against the show, used against my family, whatever the case may be. These people are fucking animals on the internet. They're just waiting for anything to just chop you up. If you want to get on Dave's ass because he's not a big EO Sky guy, okay?
I was set up, by the way. That titling made me look fucking crazy.
Well, I told you today, as a matter of fact, a few hours ago, folks, if you're listening to this on Wednesday, head over to the YouTube channel because as I promised him, there's a later episode where he's kind of coming around. So we played that today. Dave's coming around on EO. The second run is looking a little better than the first. So he comes around. He's not a complete hater when it comes to EO Sky. She's improving and he acknowledges it. So go check that.
You got me so out of pocket for that.
Well, no, I'm looking at it's so funny right now because I don't want to get off topic, but I'm looking at it now. You know what's the clip that's fucking killing it right now? You and those fucking tater tots.
Tater tots?
Yeah, there was a clip that we put here Where is the one? No, that's the infant. This one right here, fucking exploded. Hold on.
My issue with tots is like you're not home making.
Oh, why did it stop? Hold on.
My issue with tots is like you're not home making those. So I know you're ripping them out of the bag. I know that for sure.
Fry them
so
up,
So if you're gonna rip them out of the bag, that's cool. Don't offer them to me that way because I can just be home and throw them in the microwave. Just give me like some cheese. Like the menu should say loaded tots. It should never just say tots.
No. So that video, let me go back because I clicked on it. Is there like a bird or something behind you?
Oh, you hear that? That's fucking annoying.
Yeah, what is that?
It's a frogs outside.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Where are you, in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, feels like I don't like that you can hear that though. But anyway, go ahead.
That clip is 1,400 views in already, and it's only been up for like a day or two. So that's they're loving your tater tot stance, which we completely agreed with. So
as they fucking should. The people know.
So those are our 3 topics. 2 taboo, 4 OUM. We are going to move on to the next topic here, and we are going to go on to. We're going to go back into the past.
Segment 4 is finally here.
So here with this segment here, we're going to go back into the past just a little bit. What we're going to do is I found, by the way, I'm on a kick right now because I used to be a big collector in Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine, the Wrestler magazine, the almanacs, all that other stuff. I used to I used to read all these magazines, and I absolutely fell in love with the literature of professional wrestling many, many moons ago. And I stumbled upon one of my old almanacs. And although it is the almanac of 2006, that is only because it was released in January of 06. It is for the year of 2005. I actually have the book right here in front of me. I sent you some of the snapshots of the topic here. The almanacs used to be completely done with different articles. So it starts off with the 10 biggest news stories of 2005. After that, it goes into a year in review. So anything huge that happened, like for instance, January 3rd, January 4th, January 9th. It goes throughout the year of big moments that happened. What is this random ass picture of Bryan Danielson right here? Oh, it was a big title defense. Then it does year in ratings. It does the PWI 500. It actually lists statistics of the wrestler. Like, for instance, right here, John Cena, 6'3", 260 pounds, West Newbury, Massachusetts, debuted professionally in 2001, and his birthday is April 23rd. Nice. No year, though, because he's a woman and didn't give his year. Then we have, this was the biggest thing for me. We have title histories in here. So, WWE Championships, WCW Championships, TNA Championships, Ring of Honor Championships, IWGP, Pro Wrestling Noah, and then this was huge for me too, Pro Wrestling Cards. These are all the super cards from WWE, WCW, all the way through. Some of the earlier ones hold the ECW information in it, and year after year it changes up. So, I have in front of me 2005, and what I wanted to do real quick on the show is I wanted to go over the 10 biggest news stories of 2005. So I'm going to open up this here. This is 20 years ago this happened. I don't think it's in any particular order. I think it's just 10. If I'm not mistaken. Maybe I should go in reverse. You think I should go 1 through 10 or 10 to 1?
I think you do looking at them, yeah.
Which one? I said 2 things.
In reverse, yes. And I think you should go in reverse. You asked, should I go in reverse? And I said yes.
Oh, okay. So, number 10 on the list, it's labeled to DVD or not to DVD. That was the question. So, this was the year that the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior DVD was released. which I know you probably don't know too much about that DVD, but I'll tell you this. It's infamous in wrestling history because it's the first DVD that they put together that was a hit piece. This wasn't a DVD of, wow, what a career, what a great man, what a memory. It was, what a piece of shit the Ultimate Warrior is.
Like one of those, like you could equivalent it to like a YouTube video now that is like the downfall of X person.
Yes, absolutely. This might have been the beginning of the genre, for all I know.
Damn, it was in the book?
Yeah, this was fucking crazy. Because they didn't advertise it like a hit piece. They advertised it like, enjoy the life and times of, because he wasn't dead yet, but they were like, let's look back on the career of the Ultimate Warrior and blah, blah, blah. And then when you watch the DVD, the people who are in the DVD was like, yeah, what a giant piece of shit he was. He held up the company for money, and he was such a dick, and he would yell at kids in the airports. They were like, God damn, did he kick over any old ladies or kill any cats? For fuck's sake. They tore this fucking man apart in this DVD. So I was like, God damn. This DVD was fucking everywhere. And that's kind of expounding more on some of the DVD projects, especially since there was such a long line of successful DVDs. The Rise and Fall of ECW, which we now know led to the beginning of One Night Stand. Screwed, the Bret Hart story. They put out a Bret Hart DVD, and even that wasn't fucking inflammatory towards them. And this is before they made up. This was I want to say about 3 years before they actually made up. So this was fucking amazing to watch as a kid, or as a teenager, I guess you could say. It was fucking hilarious. Number 9, Brock Lesnar and WWE exchange legal threats. So this was before everything got all figured out. This is when he was doing the Minnesota Vikings, and he was trying to be a football player, and he started. I don't think he got into UFC just yet. This was fresh off of leaving WWE. There was a legal situation because Lesnar, when he left WWE, he had left under the condition that he was going to try pro sports. But he immediately left WWE and immediately went into the hands of New Japan and became the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. And that caused a problem because they released him in good faith. It was like, okay, I'm going to go do sports now. They said, okay, go do sports. He's like, psych, I'm going to Japan to do some wrestling. So they're like, oh, no, you got me, you son of a bitch. You lied to me. And that's pretty much what the fuck went down. Lesnar, I'm ready for it now. The former WWE Undisputed Champion told the Bismarck Tribune, with the lawsuit and everything going on, I just hope we can resolve this thing and Vince can open his doors to me and just give me a second chance. And he did. This was done in 2005. He wouldn't get that second chance again until 2010. But they had some issues. They had some issues. They worked it out. It is what it is. Number 8. WWE storylines, a matter of taste. This was the Muhammad Hassan story. They just did this on Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was that one where they like deliberately made him the champion so that Hogan could win because of the war that was happening?
No, that's Sergeant Slaughter. That's 2 decades before this one. But this,
No?
they didn't make him. Yeah, Sergeant Slaughter was the one who was they made him the champion just to. They made him even though he was a white guy from here, and his gimmick was the
no,
American
dude.
hero.
The Dark Side of the Ring, Vince deliberately said there was controversy going on in the Middle East,
Yes.
so he put the belt on him.
No, he was
so
never
that
had, he
he
never
could
had
drop
the
the belt.
He never had the belt.
Then I'm thinking of a different person.
I
then.
just
I'm
said who you
all
were
right.
thinking of. It was goddamn Sergeant Slaughter.
Are you gonna make me look it up? All right, you go ahead. You talk about it. You go.
But okay, so it was the Muhammad Hassan story. This was the guy who was in OVW. He was an Italian from Syracuse, New York, and then he got called up to the main roster, and they made him a Muslim sympathizer. This is the dude who they tried to behead the Undertaker on SmackDown, and the London bombings took place by, I'm not going to say Al-Qaeda. It was somebody, I can't remember. Maybe it's in here as to who did the actual fucking bombing, but it was a whole ordeal. He was already kind of tiptoeing over the line, and then when the bombing happened, the gimmick was just no good. They couldn't do anything with it. For whatever reason, they never repackaged him. they just fired him outright. So, like, he was doing really, really good in developmental, and then he got called up. They gave him this ridiculous gimmick. He did exactly what they wanted him to do, and then when the heat became too much, they just fired him altogether. So, kind of fucking crazy. You're really looking this up right now.
Oh, don't you worry. You keep going. and to correct myself, because this might help, it wasn't the Dark Side of the Ring. It was the McMahon documentary.
Oh, so we're definitely talking about Sergeant Slaughter then.
Yes.
Yes, it's Sergeant Slaughter. You can keep Googling if you want. It's Sergeant Slaughter. So
I thought now I'm going to keep going. You do your thing.
Number 7, Black Monday, a dark day in WWE. The only reason it was called, let me explain it here. 20 stars were sent to the unemployment line. They included Bubba Ray Dudley, Devon Dudley, Spike Dudley, Billy Kidman, Kenzo Suzuki, Hiroko, Charlie Haas, Jackie Gata, Marty Jannetty, Mark Jindrak, Dawn Marie, Matt Morgan, Maven, Shannon Moore, Akio, Gangrel, Kevin Furtig or Mordecai, Ivory, Joy Giovanni, and Mark Lloyd. This, I'm assuming they called it Black Monday because this was the first of many post. I think it happens now after WrestleMania. I think this might have happened. What was the day it gave? July? This happened in July. So this was about midway through the year. This was the beginning of the annual tradition of the wrestling roster purge, where they just start cutting talent out, sending them home, and giving them something else to fucking do. They can't. I don't know where you're gonna go, but you can't stay here. This was the cuts. A lot of them found work after, but this was Black Monday to them was the beginning of the end for some of those contracts. Did you find what you was looking for?
No, I'm listening. You're good.
Okay, you're still gonna fucking try to find this. Number 6.
The problem is no. See, but hold on, because the issue is that it was like episode 1, and it was like halfway through or some shit, and YouTube's not giving it to me. I don't know how to fucking search it. Like I don't know what to say specifically to guys. So don't you worry about that. It may come after this, but God damn it, you're gonna get it. Pause.
Well, if it helps you at all, Muhammad Hassan and Hulk Hogan are from different eras. Hulk Hogan never wrestled Muhammad Hassan. They fought.
I'm thinking a different person, but they definitely ran a Middle East angle where they deliberately put the belt on someone. Damn, I'm so mad I can't remember his name right now.
Just fucking Google Sergeant Slaughter and you'll see it. It's right there. He was an Iraqi sympathizer. He won the championship at the Royal Rumble, proceeded to cut promos for the other country for 2 straight months. Then they had the blow off in Los Angeles where Hogan beat him for the belt.
Okay, you are correct.
I know I'm correct.
Until I find what the fuck I'm looking for.
I'm taking this to the grave. Number 6, probably the greatest night of my entire life. I will never forget this night for as long as I live. I had actual tears. WWE's One Night Stand with ECW. This was the ECW One Night Stand show, 2005, in New York at the Hammerstein Ballroom. Did not go to the show because of low funds, but we did get together at our friend's house. Couple brews, couple you-know-whats, living it up, enjoying a full fucking night. And the beautiful thing about this night, one of the most beautiful things about this is my girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife, had never seen anything involving ECW ever. And I remember before the show, it was a WWE event. So we didn't know how close to the ECW vibe they were going to get. So it's a whole room full of people. You know most of them. Etsy and Brandon. I'm saying names into the ether. People don't know who I'm talking about. But these were close personal friends of mine. We got a whole living room full of fucking the closest friends, just wrestling fanatics. My girlfriend is there. A couple of other girlfriends were there. it's a happening, right? We're already drinking pre-show. This is going to be crazy. And they do all these packages, and then we get to the first match. First match is Lance Storm and Dawn Marie, the returning Dawn Marie, and Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho, they gave him his WWE theme, because obviously they couldn't use the ECW theme. It was copyright. But they gave him the Break the Walls Down. And when he came out in his original ECW tights with the jacket, and he came out as Lionheart, Chris Jericho, and we all looked at everybody who was in that room who was experiencing this for the first time and just went, oh shit, welcome to ECW, bitch. This is going to be a ride. And it was one of the greatest pay-per-views I've ever seen to this day. It's been 20 years, and no pay-per-view has matched emotionally, with the exception of maybe a few WrestleManias, but that was because I was there, so it's a different vibe. But that was a great fucking night. Number 5, you're still looking.
This is you, brother. I don't fucking know this shit. You read this on the shitter. I was playing video games when you were looking at this almanac. I don't know what you want from me.
You don't have any memories of any of this so far?
I mean, yes, I remember as you lived your life, yeah.
As you lived your life. Okay, number 5, TNA's talent influx. This is when a lot of the WWE people and former WCW people started heading over to TNA. We've got Sting, Rhino, Christian Cage. There was a long list. The next year after this, in 2006, they would end up getting Kurt Angle. There was some game-changing decisions that were done in TNA around this time. So there's a really good growth period for TNA was 2005. Yet to hit their stride, but they're getting there. Number 4, WWE replaces Jim Ross with Joey Styles. That was bittersweet. I didn't know how to feel at that time. Jim Ross was a very important person in my wrestling life at that time as a fan, but Joey Styles was the emotional pick. Like, to this day, I wish I could be more like Joey on the microphone. We're talking 1A, 1B for me, personally, as commentators. They're fighting for first place. Number 3, Raw returns home to the USA Network. Doesn't mean shit now, but at that time, that was a pretty big fucking deal. When they left for TNN and replaced ECW as that wrestling program. Number 2, TNA makes an impact on Spike TV. TNA finally on television, still in that small-ass Universal Studios building, which I was in only the one time, but it was still a good time. I was completely inebriated. It was a good time to be in there. Florida, get out of the Florida sun, get into this building and enjoy some wrestling. That was a good time. And the number 1 story of 2005, the news story that almost broke me as a human being. The death of Eddie Guerrero that took place in November. He died unfortunately passed in his hotel room. It's not entirely certain if it was either in his sleep or if he was up and then suffered. It's uncertain as to whether or not he felt that heart attack. He had a heart attack, essentially, and he passed away. And the person who told me about it, because I didn't see it yet. The person who told me about it was Steph. Steph called me, and Steph called me from Mexico. She was in Mexico. She was on a girls' trip in Mexico with her and her friends, and she always loved to tell this part of the story that when you're traveling internationally back in those days, folks, you had to turn off your roaming data, because if you don't, you get charged international fees. The bills go up. So she turned off the roaming data while she was in Mexico until she found out about Eddie. She found out because she's in Mexico, right? So that word traveled very, very fast. So she turned on the roaming data, and she took the charges to call me to let me know Eddie Guerrero had passed. It was a difficult time for me. I wept like a baby, wept like a child. I wept for Owen, I wept for Eddie, and I wept for Chris Benoit for about a day. And then and then the other stuff came out, and I wasn't so worried about it anymore. But yeah, so those were the top stories of 2005. Not a bad time in professional wrestling history. Maybe next year I'll divulge into the 2006 and see what's going on with that. So we've got one more segment to get to, our main event of the evening. So let's go ahead and,
It is now time for our main event.
Our main event, we have to have this conversation. And I'm going to be labeled the ultimate hater here. I know I am.
No, if you're going the way that I think you are, I'm right behind you.
Yeah, I'm going to be labeled the ultimate hater here. But for everyone who's asking, what the fuck is happening? What does Goldberg have to do with anything going on? How does this help? How does it hurt? Does it help? Whatever the case may be. I would like to make sure everyone who's out there wondering these questions, you're not alone and you are not crazy. Because I don't know. I don't know how we got here. I don't know why this is happening. We heard the rumors for weeks that one of the reasons that they took the belt off of Jay is so that Jay didn't have to go through the whole Goldberg thing. That the dream scenario for Goldberg was Gunther. And the dream scenario for Goldberg is to do it in Atlanta. So they're going to do it. They made the announcement yesterday that it's going to be at Saturday night's main event in Atlanta. It's going to be Gunther and Goldberg for the World Heavyweight Championship. And there's a lot of people sitting here just frustrated and just pissed off and just, what the fuck? Why the fuck? Where the fuck? How the fuck? I would like, just for a second, before we get into the right now, I'd like to set the table. Because I think there's just a little bit of revisionist history taking place right now. There's a lot of people right now that are living in a fantasy world. There is this thought process that Goldberg is this overwhelming, popular, just iconic human being that came from the Attitude Era, and there's a lot of validity to that. But the part where I feel like it's a little revisionist history, just a little bit, is because people are of the impression that when he was on his high, when he was at his highest, when he was at his peak, when he was Bill fucking Goldberg, that the world as a whole was just like, yes, he's the fucking man. And that is not true. I was alive and well and a teenager in those late 90s. As a matter of fact, to be specific, he debuted on WCW television in 97. I was 14 years old. You were the ripe old age of about 8 or 9 years old. And I was there for the Goldberg run. I was there when it started. I was there when it got hot. I was there when it fizzled out. And I got news for everybody. There wasn't one day that went by through any of that time where someone didn't say, he's kind of the shits. I don't understand the appeal. There was a lot of people who were just like, I don't get Goldberg. He was popular. There were more people that loved him that didn't. Let's just say that. But there were a lot of people that thought he was a Stone Cold ripoff. Bald head, black trunks, black boots. There were a lot of people that got upset about the fact that the guy couldn't wrestle past 2 minutes. All of his matches, 60, 120 seconds at most. Okay? A whole Goldberg match is they play the song, the camera goes to the back, he slams his head into a locker for no reason that was ever explained to us other than he's just intense. He gets followed to the gorilla position by security guards because apparently he's a menace to society. He goes through the goddamn curtain, purposely stands in the fireworks and the sparkles, inhales the smoke, I'm assuming to make the cancer worse, and then breathes it out like a dragon and then proceeds to do the most intense shadow boxing of all time. Slides into the ring. They ring the bell. His opponent gets a jump start on him that he doesn't sell. He hits a random move, some sort of suplex or some sort of kick or something. Does the whole snarl at the crowd. goes into the corner, sets up a spear, plows through the motherfucker, puts one finger up in the air, jackknife, boom, 1, 2, 3, play the theme, do the pose, rinse and repeat. That's it. That's all it is. That's the whole fucking match. That's the whole presentation. That's all it ever was. And there was a
Sounds like a refined Ultimate Warrior.
Yes. If anything, they learned from the Warrior because the Warrior at least tried to wrestle.
He said, "Slow down."
Yes. If you could do nothing,
not to get gassed.
He reminds me of, you ever seen 21 Jump Street, the movie remake with Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill? You ever seen yeah, when they were going over the high school stuff, and he was wearing the backpack. He was like, "Are you two-strapping right now?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm two-strapping." He goes, No, you got to one-strap it. No strap it if you could. But you, at the very least, you have to one-strap it. This is that. They told Warrior, "Are you two-strapping right now?" So they went to go over and said, "One strap, bro. No strap if you could. Just but minimum."
He no strapped the fuck out of that.
There was a few no straps in that motherfucker. There was a time his run is debut in 97, super hot in 98, fizzle in 99, and completely out of it by 2000. And his WWE run in 2003, which is also just 1 year, he was asked on a few occasions to carry some people, and he couldn't fucking do it. I never understood him. Now, I get the overall feeling that he was a popular dude, and there were a lot of people. They were chanting Goldberg yesterday. Goldberg, Goldberg. There's still kind of that childhood nostalgia kind of that's there. I get it.
Well, it's part of the gimmick. It's the fun part of the gimmick.
Right. So, I say all that not to say that he's not a legend, not to say that he's someone that we shouldn't respect. What I'm saying is he a big enough nostalgia act or a big enough star for us to literally upheaval the whole overall scheme of things to just focus on just something that he wanted to do?
This is something they need to get away from, and I feel like they've done a pretty good job. But they really need to stop doing this shit. Like, it's just it. If it is true that they took the belt from Jay in the way that they did on a Monday to capture the moment that happened how many months ago? 6? How long ago was that encounter that he had? That was hilarious, by the way, with Goldberg when he was sitting out. Like, I feel like that's what we're trying to capitalize on, and it's just fucking weird. I don't see the reason why we ended Jay's run in the same manner that he started the run to what I'm going to assume is gain some credibility gain some credibility back so that it can be used in an angle for them to have a moment with a legend. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Your card is too loaded. Your talent is too good. You have too many people that can use a match or could do a match where you don't like. There's no benefit to Goldberg being here. No. But I'm an advocate for legends not being around. Period. I've always fucking said that. I've always cringed when Hulk Hogan comes out, even in the Rumble. I'll let it slide in the Rumble, but even then, I feel like what they did last Rumble with taking some of the younger talent who and kind of testing their over by making them a surprise in the Royal Rumble does way more than bringing out a legend. So I just feel like they have way too much talent to be wasting energy in this. That I fucking hate legends. I hate them.
I hate legends. I don't think you hate legends so much as you hate when they start overstepping what's happening right now.
Just go to the announce table. Then that's fine. But like, there was something really nasty about Io Sky telling I forget her name, the Bella twin, that you paved the way for us.
Right.
There are a lot of different. See, and this is why I hate the fact that I'm being painted like I have Io hate. There is a lot of motherfuckers in that back who could have said that to her and it would have felt good. Io's not that person.
No, that didn't fit.
Io is not the one that, like, hasn't she been doing it longer than her?
No, not longer than Nikki. Nikki started before her. You know who I think actually would have fit better in that situation? Chelsea. Because at least Chelsea has stated
that would have been good.
That the Bellas were an inspiration for her. Right. Io Sky.
But, okay, so even if I'm wrong that Nikki has technically been doing it longer, Io has done far better.
Yes,
like they're not even on the same.
No, they're not.
They're not even on the same playing field.
No.
So for her to have, I just remember that moment specifically. She's like, "You paved the way for us, thank you." And I'm like, "No, without Nikki, that does not mean there's no Io." I don't see that. Chelsea maybe, but Io no. That no. So like just those little things like that. Like I don't know, the hat tilt, the whatever. It's unnecessary, and I don't even think. It's fun in the moment. Like, for instance, this example right here, when this match happens and my wife's watching it with me, she's going to lose her shit because it's her favorite person. Like Goldberg, she just loves she thinks it's hilarious. She used to do that shit to me. It used to drive me nuts. I'd be in the living room and I hear Goldberg and I knew she was just about to play too much. She's about to fucking try to tackle me and be fucking weird.
Don't watch Raw right now after this. Too loud.
She loves Goldberg. Like she just loves the whole gimmick. So from her perspective, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
But like from someone who watches wrestling constantly, like I just feel like it's a waste.
This is going to be awesome for a few million people who still.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's going to work.
Yeah, it's going to work. That's not the conversation that I'm trying to have. Does it hurt more than it helps? Because once so we get to Saturday night's main event. We have the event in Atlanta. It's the hometown crowd. He gets in there with arguably one of the best wrestlers on planet Earth, who's going to protect him at every chance that he gets, right? What kind of match are we having? Is it another 3 or 4 minute little thingamabob? They're not going to go more than 20 minutes either. And even if you do, he's not going to win the heavyweight title. God for fucking bid. Right? So then what happens at that point? Okay, we get to Atlanta. Gunther beats him. He goes home happy and content with his career. And then what happens to the rest of us?
Meanwhile, Jey Uso gets a King of the Ring cancellation prize.
Essentially, yes. Now we have to put Jey in this position to win King of the Ring to get back to where we were when we could have used the King of the Ring for something else. You already sacrificed Money in the Bank for the sake of a storyline. Now you're sacrificing King of the Ring for the sake of a storyline. There's the Money in the Bank holder doesn't need Money in the Bank, and the person who might possibly will win the King of the Ring at this point, which, by the way, as an update, Sami Zayn and Randy Orton are going to compete on Friday for their semifinal, and now Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso will compete on Monday for their final spot. So the most predictable...
The match, by the way, we did not want to see.
Yeah, that was the one that we specifically said, too easy, too cheap, let's do something different, and that's exactly what they fucking did. And now that we know that Gunther and Goldberg are going to go to Atlanta for the title, that we ought to... By anything short of a fucking... If Triple H has a fucking stroke... and then they have to ship him to the hospital, and mid-medication, he signs off on Goldberg winning a championship. That's the only way I'm going to accept that. There's no fucking reason for him to leave Atlanta in a retirement match as the champion. If Paul Heyman was booking WWE, it's a possibility. But if anybody with the right fucking frame of mind is in control, that won't happen. So we're essentially back to where we started a few weeks ago. To answer your point, by the way, that first confrontation between Goldberg and Gunther was in October, 8 months ago.
8 months ago. So I told you it was a minute.
Yeah.
My memory ain't good, but it's okay.
No, but that's yesterday on the show, and you'll see it. They used that confrontation to bridge to this, which, again, where the fuck have you been for 8 months if you've been this fucking steamed about it? I don't understand. You don't have to.
And to be honest with you, that if we would have just if we just never feuded Jey, because we wanted to give Jey the WrestleMania moment,
right?
If this was your plan, you just did it a year too soon. Jay's not going to lose steam I don't think so. In that case, if he doesn't win the belt, if he doesn't win the Rumble, if he's still doing what Jay does, we get here without that. Gunther's still having his run. Now we're having an altercation between these two. Jay goes off and wins King of the Ring, which just adds more to his shit. Then we do the feud with Gunther going into the next Mania, and now he has his moment. Or the next Rumble, he wins it. We have his moment. Like, we didn't need to do that, rip it away, and now do King of the Ring. Like, I feel like we're going backwards. And the only thing that makes sense to me, because I feel like I have so much confidence in Triple H making these calls, that either he owes, or either he's back paying things that are owed to people before he got the reign, or this is making more money than we understand it to, and that's why he's doing a business decision. Those are my only two outs for him. I just can't see a world where he's like, oh, Goldberg, phone call. Oh, hey, can I get on? Yeah, I'll move some things around. And then I just don't see that happening. I don't know. I don't want to believe it.
Well, not for nothing though, but he's based on everything you just said. I'm leaning more towards he's making a business decision, but I feel like he's making a business decision that's going to hurt the creative, which is the one thing that he has. That's his playing card, is his creative process. That's the one thing that he does that everyone goes, you know what, it was the right call. You know what I'm saying? That was the right call. That Triple H was the perfect person to run this company. He gets it. He knows what he's doing. It's the creative. It's this, is that, and the fourth. But now we're seeing evidence that he's being torn between two worlds. TKO wants to make money. He wants to create stories that will generate money. And I just feel like he's kind of in the middle. There's a lot of shows going on. And for the record, can I just really quickly just slide in here about the whole Jey Uso title reign? Right? Just really quickly, because there were a lot of people who were upset over the idea that Jey Uso got beat, and that he got beat essentially the way that he did, which was with 51 days, I believe, was the record that he had as the world heavyweight champion. And people were like, 51 days? That's crazy, because this, and this. 51 days is nothing. They're burying him and all that stuff. I would like to put things into perspective when it comes to that, the 51 days. I wouldn't stress about the 51 days. I wouldn't stress about that. For those of you out there who are new to the game, that's nothing in compared to a lot of title reigns that have happened in the past. As an example, I'll give you guys an example because I just wrote this down because I got curious myself. The first time ever that Stone Cold Steve Austin, arguably one of the greatest of all time, when he won his first championship from Shawn Michaels, he won it in April. He lost it he lost his first title reign in June. That was about 90 days, close to it, right? Still not 50, but that's fine, because he would go on to win the belt again a second time. And you know how long he had it the second time? 52 days. Mick Foley makes the joke all the time that he's had 3 WWE title reigns, and I think they were all together combined a total of 44 days. Kane's first WWE Championship win lasted 1 day. He won it at the King of the Ring. He lost it the next night on Raw. So these things have a way of fixing themselves. All of those names that I just mentioned to you all went on to become multiple-time world champions with multiple long reigns as champion. So it's not, you don't have to really get all that upset. People are so used to the year-round run as champion that they just assume 51 days is garbage. That's not true at all. I got it right here in front of me. Rob Van Dam only had 1 championship title run. 1. He won it June in ECW One Night Stand number 2 in June of 2006. June 11th, 2006. He lost it July 3rd, 2006. He had it for 20-something days. That's the only time he was WWE champion. I'm pretty sure we still consider him to be a legend. So don't worry about the numbers. I know you guys see 3,000 from Roman and 400 from Punk and 200 of this person and 100 of that. Don't get all worked up by that. They all add up over time. That's not the creative I'm talking about. Inserting Goldberg into a situation where we really need to get ready for the future. Because a lot of these guys are older now. Remember, we were just having that conversation. Roman is one of the older guys now. Seth's one of the older guys now. Tim's is the old heads now. So, and Goldberg is an old head too. But we didn't need this. We didn't need to go to this point. We didn't need a situation where Goldberg was just going to be figured in. So, just putting that out there for prosperity. I'm sure it's going to do gangbuster numbers, and then once he's finally off the ranch and reservation and he can go home happy, we'll see what happens next. We'll see who, though. By the way, Dave, there's a... You still there, Dave?
Yeah, why are you questioning?
Because the Goldberg thing, for Goldberg, right, he wanted to have a farewell match, right? That was his whole deal? He wants to have a farewell match?
Is that what the deal? I don't know that.
Yeah,
Is that the deal?
That's what we're hearing. Is that he?
Why do we have to have a belt involved?
I don't know, but that was his whole deal. Is that he wanted to have one last farewell match, and I'm sitting here questioning whether or not that's something we should even be doing for him. Wasn't he on the other team? He was on the other team. He was making money for WCW, right? That's who the team he played for. Mm-hmm. We're sitting here going, we don't like when legends do that. We don't like when legends do that. We don't want him to come in here and do that. Because it doesn't fit him. You know what we're doing on the other channel? Right, not on the channel like the AEW, but like literally like instead of Raw, which is where they are. You know what we're doing on SmackDown? We're giving a legend a farewell run. He didn't get a day. He got a year. And everyone's here for it. You know why? Because he was here. He's our guy.
That's a different legend.
I know. That's what I'm saying. And one that hopefully keeps to his word.
I'm glad you're going where you're going. Yeah. I believe he's fucking done after this.
Yes.
See, before, back in the day, like Hogan and stuff and Flair's, like these motherfuckers wouldn't go away.
Yeah.
Like they just, make an appearance and they would just keep coming back. This dude was not here. Then he came in and said, hey, I'm going to do a farewell tour. Then disappeared. And is now doing his run. And I have all the confidence in the world that the moment he is done, you will not see him at all.
I don't know about not see. That's going to be tough. Never in the ring again, I believe that. No appearance at all whatsoever for WWE.
It won't be for a while.
Oh, no, definitely. But, I don't think business-wise that's a smart idea for either side. At least not for appearance purposes, like the Make-A-Wishes or maybe like some sort of
it depends on how they end this.
Yeah, especially if he just put the heel turn. I don't expect that.
Yeah, it depends on how he ends this, and I hope he goes all the way with it, but whatever, we'll see.
We will see indeed. So let's let WWE do exactly what it is that they're gonna fucking do. But I want to see how it plays out. Really quickly before we get out of here, somebody had made mention to me. They say, hey, are you going to talk about the AEW thing? I think I sent you the video clip of the push. There was a cage match that took place on AEW television not too long ago, or maybe it was a long time ago. I don't know. I haven't been watching AEW. Where there was a cage match. Omega was in the ring. Moxley was outside of it trying to get in, and I guess he shoved a cameraman, and the cameraman was their camera crew was like a third-party company or whatever, and it wasn't planned. The guy didn't know he was going to get pushed, and he got pushed really fucking hard, and he got injured, and he's suing Moxley and AEW. So there was somebody very close to me who was like, hey, you're going to talk about this on the show? The answer is no. And the reason why I'm not going to talk about it on the show, and this is really cut and dry, this will be really quick, we haven't been sitting here talking about AEW. We haven't talked about the pay-per-views. We haven't talked about the talent. We haven't talked about anything really related to AEW in a very long time. And
I'll take it a step further. We actually, when we do say shit,
it's predominantly negative. I see where you're going with this, and I agree with you.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make everybody know that if I'm not going to be there to jump all over them on a normal basis for other things, I'm definitely not going to jump on them while something bad is happening. I'm not going to kick dirt. I'm not going to jump on them like the feeding frenzy. We just talked about this earlier about not wanting to be a part of the shock jock kind of genre style of things. I'm not going to see AEW getting kicked on the ground right now and then jump in with the kicking. I'm not going to.
Let's be clear.
Help them.
If we covered 2 of their pay-per-views, we were on their ass.
Yeah, if we, but to me that's fair. If I'm covering AEW as a whole, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever the case may be, the ups, the downs, the ebbs, the flows, and we're doing it on a normal basis like we kind of used to do, and then something like this popped up, I feel like that's free reign to then jump on the story. But to not mention them at all for any reason and then jump on this just feels like I'm piggybacking on something really, really bad that's happening for all involved. It sucks that guy got hurt. And it sucks that AEW's in this position. Everything ringside to me as a wrestler is up for debate. So I feel for both sides. But I'm not going to be one of those people that says, oh, here comes the legal stuff. Here comes the suit. Let's talk about it. Let's get those likes. Let's get those views. That's not going to be me. And that's not going to be this show. So if anything comes up with AEW that I feel like deserves some sort of a conversation, we will bring it up. We haven't talked about it because they haven't done shit to really spike any interest from us. If that changes, we'll change. But until then, I'm not using anything against them like that for the sake of doing bigger numbers on YouTube. That's not going to happen. Apparently, we're getting pretty good numbers with Dave just talking about food. So I don't even need a lawsuit.
Just wait till they hear about me putting my nuts in the mashed potatoes.
I should have clipped that one out a while ago. We're going back to that. I'll save that for the Thanksgiving time period. When we come back to Thanksgiving, I'll put that clip out there as a throwback clip. Yeah, we're putting our balls all in our food over here, so I don't need AEW's lawsuit.
The crazy shit is we're not that fucking far from it already. That's crazy.
I know. Time flies when you do this shit weekly. I'm telling you. You're living in my warped world now, buddy. So, all right, we're getting out of here. I've got dinner to eat, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Oh, I forgot to mention, today's show was done on my very brand new computer desk. I have a computer desk now that is in my room. And it's awesome, and I got it for Father's Day. I got my whole setup right here. I'm looking good. It doesn't take up a lot of space, so I'm feeling fancy. I'm going to get so much fucking work done on this. I got so much room for activities to do on this desk. It's going to be great. So, shout out to the family for hooking Dad up. Now he can do his schoolwork in peace. Good to go. Facing the TV, too, so I still got my YouTube. It's going to be dope.
There you go.
So, here we go. All right. So we'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you guys for downloading. And, of course, without a doubt, thank you guys for enjoying. This is episode 312. We'll see you next week.
Mic drop. Wait a minute. This is too much. Cooking it like a pro. Wrap it up, everybody. Show's over.